The War on Nature. In this one, I'm going to look at a few random things and then we're going to have a look at a load of tree stumps. So on this first bit, we're looking at this giant, which we've seen before, haven't we? So, like, following the narrative of what I said about, like, the Great Fire and everything getting buried in debris and ash and all that kind of stuff, and then the ash, like, petrifying everything. I mean, like, the atmosphere will have been full of ash for years, I imagine. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like how long were the fires burning for? You know what I mean? So, uh, anything living will have had its lungs filled, and it would have been, extremely difficult to escape it. Like there's those stories about the ant people taking people underground, or other species doing such things, which kind of makes sense, you know what I mean, to escape such a catastrophe kind of thing. And then, like, when we look at this here, like, it didn't make sense for his hair and beard to be like full of all what looks like what I'm describing, like the ash waste basically, which is covered him kind of thing, like his eyebrows and all that lot, or on hair and stuff. I run a mud fossil at university who spoke about a colour coming out of his leg. I'll show you the next picture. This is another thing. You see, like, there where it's broken away and you can see inside his arm basically, and it's like, it doesn't look like wood, you know what I mean? It's gonna, like, there's something pouring down there. Is it hair, whatever, and stuff like. See, that's like following that same pattern, but inside it looks, like granularly, kind of. You know what I mean? You've not got that texture and stuff. I know. Well, you can break stone away, and that's what it looks like. But that was one little area which used to stand out to me. Like when I saw it on, like, Mud Fossils University and stuff. And also, like, I don't know, like on the skin itself, like the cracks, and also like the sculpture. If it were a sculpture, like the musculature and all that kind of stuff, like the anatomy, attention to detail, is really good. But why would he do this with the hair, and why would he have him in this position, like the artist kind of thing? It doesn't really make sense. He could have died in that position. It just still doesn't really make sense as such. But I mean, is he sat down? Is it supporting his weight? Still, it seems less incredible. You know what I mean? It seems more likely now with the idea that there were Great Fire and all that kind of thing. But I see one of the things put me off with his eyes. I never understood, like, how would they survive, you know what I mean, and stuff. But I don't think this petrification process takes long. And we've got, like, example of that frog and those horses and stuff after the volcano and that. Those horses weren't there for thousands of years. It were like, I think it was like a recent volcano that had erupted. Like I say, all dirt in his hair. There's no, like, wood grain on his skin. Say if they carved it out of wood, like the sculptor, and then it's petrified after that, or, it depends when it was done or whatever, but I don't think so. I think it's more credible now, like, looking at it again. This looks like some sort of giant hip bone or something like that. Which, you know what I mean, like, so, like, cases of giganticism and stuff, like, I think it is possible. I don't think the previous giant looked that big in a case and stuff, like. This is something I want to show you in Yorkshire. There's a place where you can petrify items. So you can take a teddy or a kettle, teapot, or whatever, you know what I mean, and get it, string it up, and get it petrified. But it's a false petrification process because it's like basically you're stringing it up and letting all the minerals come down and cover it in, you know what I mean, whatever it's made out of, kind of thing. That basically this is what it's the same material of like stalagmites and stalactites. So it's covered in that, which is mainly like quartz and whatever other minerals that comes through the stone and stuff. But it's not the kettle, which is, or teapot, which is turned into stone. You can see like the colour behind it and stuff, like where it's like a bit's fallen away or not settled yet. So it's still, still metal underneath there. It's not actually turned to stone. It's covered in stone, which is, I don't know, it's something we were looking into and stuff. We've got this tree. I'll show you the next picture first. This is the base of it. Well, I think the base will there. It's been knocked over or whatever's happened to it and stuff, and then it's it's grown this way. So it's got, this is where the tree is. And so you got like all the weight of the tree is on that bit there. You see all that kind of thing, like it goes quite high up as well. For the strength of a tree, you know what I mean? It's like carrying its entire weight. It's not even touching ground there or there. It's back there kind of thing. So it's like showing you its strength in a way. Back to that one. Right. So stumps. I showed you this one on the end in this video. You can see it's black on top. I don't know if the one on the end in this video had been airbrushed to make it look more brighter and colourful or whatever and stuff like. But you still got it. You can see where it all is and stuff. Although wood can stain black on the outside. It's like part of its natural way kind of thing. See, everything's fallen off, you know what I mean? And you can see that it's wood. Yeah, and you got that up there. This is a bit different, but I've got some pictures to show you in a second. So this is another, how big it is. I don't know, it looks like it's like, is it laid down or is it like the rest of it's burnt away and, and again, all debris falling and stuff. You see all sand sliding down kind of thing. So that's like all false land. It weren't naturally like that. That's a result of what happened kind of thing. So I'm trying to find the bottom of things in a way, because it's like that. I don't believe that that's the bottom. That's buried. What were underneath there? You know what I mean? To find the true source of the bases of the trees and stuff. How about that again? You see, not. You see all these. It's 1, 2. Looks like there's one there. Or again, musculature. How, see, like, how it kinda, hold on a second. Like, all the musculature of the tree structure itself kind of thing. I like that bit there and stuff like that. It's like what you get under an armpit or, you know what I mean, when you're lifting weights or whatever, but you can see it all. which, you know, is one of the signs that you're looking for. And when you see it in all this, you'll see what I mean, kind of thing. I mean, it's everywhere really, but it's more noticeable in other places. So we got some dead tree stumps which I found up below. And you got like caves and that lot. You got the structure of it all. And then like how it becomes like unrecognizable. You know what I mean? You got all your cracks, how it breaks up. It's got woodworm in this one as well, though. It just kind of spoils it a little bit, but I see like you got your markings on cliff side. If we're gonna look at it as like a giant tree kind of thing, how it breaks apart and all that kind of stuff. All your debris collects up and buries what were there. It's a bit difficult to see as that one, I think. More examples. It's like the structure of the entire thing, you know what I mean? Obviously, if that were like the giant tree version of it and stuff like, and it were petrified, the weight of that would be immense. Anything underneath it's going to be like having to support the weight of it, and it's no longer wood anymore, so it's no longer got that springy strength that it used to have. So it's just gonna crush whatever's there and then collapse. So, you know, I mean, we're not going to see things the same like. See, that's unrecognizable. You can see there some wood and stuff. And down here, well, that's just soil now. You know, it's no longer wood at all. You got all this. Until that down here. You've got all your debris which is landed here. It's made like a flat area kind of thing. You got all this, which is kind of very typical in what we look at in a lot of the stumps we're going to see and stuff. It's kind of, like I say, it's unrecognizable as a tree. It just looks like rock. I see all flat land again from all debris. Like I said, hiding what it used to be. Oh, that bit kind of thing. I see, like, it's stained dark. Obviously, it's not from a fire. It's just like the natural way that wood can, once it's like exposed to air and stuff. I suppose that's like, you know, probably mold where that'll grow and lichen and all that kind of stuff. Again, a stump like. A stump like compared to the next pictures, which I'll show you. I might have showed you this one in the previous one, unless I deleted it. You see all layers poking out. See them there. And we get this all over the place. And you look at mountainsides. That's quite high, is that one, isn't it? But yeah, you get stuff like this, like. You can see how it's worn out, Obviously that's staying in between because it's pressed in. Eventually it's going to wear off and all that's going to collapse in it. And you can see wood colour underneath compared to exterior. You see all that debris in background from previous, from tree over there kind of thing. So all that's hidden. We don't know what's underneath. Obviously, the base of the tree kind of thing as such. There's another base. Been cut though. You got your tunnels, you got all your where your rings a tree follow kind of thing like. I remember like, you know, a lot of these areas are kind of buried and stuff like so. We see it on other trunks and stuff. That's another one, not a petrified tree, just a tree stump that's died. Like I said, if it were petrified and giant, the amount of weight, you know what I mean? So, because it's light, it's not going to fall over as easy. That's another normal tree stump. But, you know, a different look at it, different angle, different how it's kind of gone away and stuff. So then you got all this on the surface, how it's ended and stuff. You get a lot of these. Cactus is another thing I wanted to mention. The potential for like giant cactus. You see how we're grouped up together here. I think that's like, you know, naturally and wild and stuff like. That's just another fell. You know what I mean? You can see all the debris. It's difficult to tell what it used to be. You know what I mean? Especially with snow there as well. Like, but you can see it kind of thing. So more of a like broken stump, unless it is multiple trees, but still the broken quite severely. Again, you can see it's rock. Looking at Hangman's work and seeing, you know what I mean, for your evidence of what that is kind of thing. It's like I say about cactus. Maybe these could be trees, but it could be cactus as well. There are some which are like really close together sometimes. I mean, we've got all them column that you get like on Devil's Tower, for instance, and stuff like. This one, I just put it in because it looked good for wood. You see all detailed and stuff. For such a size kind of thing. Tip. I would like it is. Some of them are really good kind of thing, like trees growing out of it as well. You got all ones in the background. A jungle. That's good for colour as well, and shape, definition kind of thing. It's like you can see it, can't you? You must be able to. I mean, well, I know a lot of people do, and a lot of people haven't opened up to it as well. So this is a petrified stump. See all the debris just falling off it. It's exactly what we're getting on mountains. Exactly the same. Flat topped. I don't know what happened to it actually, the way it being petrified. Another petrified stump. Not giant one. See how I'm pointing them out on one of the earlier videos, how it kind of flows like that kind of thing. It's got all these patterns and stuff. And you find it in landscape quite often. It's like where that canyon were, it was similar to that. So like the colour and everything in comparison to what we're finding. A different shape. But with so many different types of plants. You know what I mean? Some of the exotic plants and you know what we produce and how they grow and stuff like that. Again, you got that knot there kind of thing. It says a lot, you know what I mean? Like again with musculature of it all and stuff like that. There's a few. This is a good one. You've got them 4 stumps, which significantly look like wood, you know what I mean? Now, the detail of them and all that kind of stuff. Right? And then you got this here, which is like them roots on that palm tree what I was showing you. But it's like you've got these, you got the stumps themselves, right, and they're on the back of this vine kind of thing, right, and that's like part of the base of this to maintain the strength to hold all these trunks and stuff. It's coming out all this way up here kind of thing, and then you've got all that which is dropping down to here. You see all the debris again, you know what I mean? That's not really supposed to be there. That's hiding what's actually there kind of thing. Same on the other side. You got all your water. You got these stones. Where did that come from? Obviously, it's come from up. It's not come from down. Other than the fact that it grew up before it became down. It's more like an apple. You know what I mean? It grew on the tree when it fell. But yeah, I was quite chuffed with this picture. I showed a lot of people of this, like last year kind of thing. You know, the argument of sedimentary rock and all these things, it's not lasting to me. So this is a more petrified tree stumps. And look at the shape of them. As this is significant because I've got some videos later to show you about the shape and stuff. See, like the musculature of it. It's like a knot coming out there, a branch, you know. One of them. One of them. Whatever they were. Again, it's like displaying what as land is. It's like it were this massive paradise, this jungle kind of thing. And the more we'll realise about that, you see, like, look at all that debris there. Look at it all, there's loads. You know what I mean? It's like this entire landscape is made out of giant trees and loads of debris from what happened, kind of thing. So again, you can see all debris, and you have to try and assume what it used to be like, kind of thing. But we're familiar with that one. It's just like burling at bottom rather than your columns. Which I want to talk about burling later. I've got another video to cover that topic as well. How high it is. That's an interesting idea. Jibby sent me that one. See, that's it. Like the burling at the bottom, I kind of think it's a tree rather than a fungus, but it is quite good. It's like the base of that is different. But I am, into the idea of like giant funguses and stuff. Okay, look how it's broken, slid away. You know what I mean? And also the black stain and all that. Like from the charcoal, like left over from the great fires and stuff. Potentially. Again, you see all the muscle structure of it. It looks like a knot again. See, like cactus. Like the details are gone. Like it's either burnt and then like been petrified, or it doesn't seem the right shape because it's like, I think it's all like broken up and stuff. But again, for it to be growing so close, and again from above. Oh, Aspia. There's loads of pictures. I haven't got long left on this video, but if I run out, I'll continue the rest of these when I come back. You see that gap? How wood-like is it? You know what I mean? I've seen that happen in wood quite a lot, and how are we are. Alright, I'll have to save it for the rest. Next video. Alright, I'll be back soon.